What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Respectfully. I am your host, Cam Farmer. And tonight, let's get right into this, man. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about a tweet that I read, that I saw. I also want to talk about the potential of Russell Westbrook and Paul George teaming up with Kawhi in Toronto. I also, lastly, want to talk about the city of Atlanta in its entirety because there's so much to look forward to in the city. There was a tweet that went out. It feels like I'm reading a whole lot of tweets, I swear. But there was a tweet that went out, and the tweet read, if you flipped one of the finals results from this century, which one would cause the biggest ripple effect in NBA history? And the only conclusion that I came up with, the only answer that I came up with was 2012. Because if Russ, KD, and Harden capture their first championship together, that would have severe repercussions on LeBron's legacy. I feel that if we witnessed a young team like OKC in 2012 beat the Miami Heat with the prime LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, who's still giving you 22, 23, 24 a game, and you also have the contributions of Chris Bosh, Mike Miller, Shane Battier, the whole nine, I don't think we would be talking about LeBron James in the way that we do now in terms of his GOAT status. I also feel that if 2012 went differently in terms of OKC winning, I personally don't think that Kevin Durant would leave OKC for Golden State. I also don't believe James Harden would leave after they won a championship. James Harden left that same offseason. They lost to the Heat. Now, do I think James Harden would have finished his career in OKC? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I know after that championship, he definitely would have wanted to run it back. Do I think Russ would have still been the triple-double master? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I think he would have wanted to run it back. I truly think Kevin Durant would have wanted to run it back. But in the interest of LeBron, I thoroughly believe that that gives ammo to Paul George and that Pacers squad too. I thoroughly believe that it gives ammo to that New York Knicks squad led by Carmelo Anthony. And if we want to be technical, maybe this is a hot take too. What if the Atlanta Hawks beat that Miami Heat squad? Would that give them ammo? I think so. What if the Atlanta Hawks got ammo from LeBron and the Heat losing a second consecutive year in the finals? There are so many questions, bro. So many. But I truly believe that 2012 was, without a shadow of a doubt, that had severe implications on the future. And if things turned out differently in that 2012 finals, I don't think we would still be talking about LeBron James the way that we do in terms of his GOAT status right now. There was a report that came out regarding Paul George and Russell Westbrook potentially teaming up with Kawhi Leonard in that 2019 offseason when Kawhi ultimately decided to team up with Paul George with the Clippers. Obviously, the Raptors declined because they would have had to give up 4 unprotected first-round picks and Pascal Siakam, seeing as though the Raptors truly viewed him as a cornerstone of the franchise regarding their young core. But as I think about it, What would a team with prime Paul George, prime Russell Westbrook, and a prime Kawhi Leonard, does that team win championships? Absolutely. Absolutely. LeBron James is no longer in the Eastern Conference. Giannis Antetokounmpo, at this point in time, was the best player in the East. You also have the up-and-coming Boston Celtics, led by Kyrie Irving, led by Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, Al Horford. You also have the Ben Simmons-Joel Embiid tandem on the Philadelphia 76ers. Do I believe that a team like the Toronto Raptors led by Russ, PG, and Kawhi, can they win multiple championships? Absolutely. If Paul George is coming off the best season of his career, if Russ is still averaging a triple-double, and if Kawhi is still doing what he's doing, multiple championships, multiple Eastern Conference Finals appearances. But my only question would be, how would that work? How would Nick Nurse and staff make that work? There's only one basketball. But this is a team with, at this point in time, with two of the best two-way defenders in the league, in Paul George and Kawhi. How would that work? Would that work? But if you ask me, in case you all haven't noticed, the Los Angeles Clippers Kawhi jerseys in the back and the Kawhi Leonard Raptors jersey to the left of me, I so much would have rather Kawhi Leonard stay with the Raptors than go to the Clippers, obviously. But I'm happy he's home, and I'm happy he made his decision. The city of Atlanta may be turned up in the next few months. We got the Falcons. We got the Hawks. More specifically, we got the Dream, who is playing exceptional basketball right now, winning basketball. We're not even going to talk about the Braves. Let's let the Braves come back next year. Personally, I think they should fire Snicker. But that's a conversation for another day. When it comes to the Falcons, there's so much to look forward to. Unfortunately, the Falcons lost Caleb McGarry, the offensive tackle that was charged with watching and covering the blind side of Michael Penix Jr. But I still believe Raheem will have those guys ready come week 1. On top of the fact, I thoroughly believe that the Atlanta Falcons will take over the NFC South and will make a run in the NFC playoffs. Those are just my 2 cents. But then when we look at the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks are in a very unique position, probably more unique than the 2021 playoffs. And if you ask me, I believe that the Hawks are one fully healthy ankle away from beating the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021 to face the Suns in the finals. But the unique position that the Hawks are in right now, the East is wide open. For the last 5 years, we have been saying 2 teams are going to come out of the Eastern Conference, and that is Milwaukee and that is Boston. Well, Boston, I don't necessarily have them on my bingo card and winning a championship next year. And Milwaukee, I don't really know what Giannis is planning to do. I don't trust Cleveland. I don't trust New York. But Atlanta can make a run. If there is any time for Atlanta to make a run to win a championship? In the words of Amaya from Love Island, God has provided the Hawks with an amazing opportunity. So why not the Hawks? But then we get to the Atlanta Dream. I know the Lynx are the favorite to win it all. And I know the Liberty are a huge favorite to repeat, especially after their addition of Emma Meesseman, who, by the way, is a finals MVP with the Mystics in 2019. But nobody's talking about Atlanta. Why aren't we talking about Alicia Gray more? Why aren't we talking about the contributions of Brittany Griner? Why aren't we talking about the contributions of Canada? Hey, listen, Tahina Paopao, I like her a lot. Only thing I'm going to say, do not sleep on Atlanta, because they will mess around and be in the finals. And they're playing the best basketball. When it comes to the playoffs, specifically college basketball, NBA, WNBA, there's no greater feeling that a coach should have when they see their team playing winning basketball at the right time. And the right time is less than a month before the playoffs start, leading into when the playoffs start. Don't sleep on Atlanta. I'm just saying. That is exactly why Atlanta is going to be turned. That is why I sense Atlanta is going to be turned within the next few months. Those are my 2 cents, ladies and gentlemen. You all have a great night.